That blue white bitch on Depop, she a teapot, 2 left feet, them Reebok. Shawty get freelance, now she a free thought. Shoulda never loved a bitch along with my seat. My style, a bitch get pit poppin' in my Reeboks. Talk about a detox, busy like a beatbox. All grown up, bitch looking like Salute, not that booty. I need that.
Okay, so this morning was a fairly slow morning. Called a couple of potential clients. They didn't answer. They ghosting me. Maybe. Do I care? No. Am I going to keep calling them? Yes. And there's also something I want to touch on later in this video in relation to the type of clients and the type of people I'm going after and the businesses that I'm going to work with. It's something that I feel is important, especially if you run a service-based business, especially an agency. It's an extremely important idea and concept to understand and realize, especially when you're starting out, because there are so many problems that can come from it. Currently on a call with this man right here. He just had lunch and he's obviously doing so much work right now, but just working through a few different things. Got a few people which I need a message back from the Young Founders Network, as well as send a few emails, a couple of plans. I've got a potential client who I'm actually talking to within the next 2 hours, which will be interesting. See what he thought of the strategy and the plan that I sent through, and then go from there. I'll update whether or not I get him, whether or not, and I also want to talk through that really important thing later on in the video. All right, so like I said in the last clip, just got back from the gym. I'm freezing and about to have a shower. But I wanted to quickly come on and talk about a few things. One is how those calls go this afternoon. One of them went really well, booked a sales call for tomorrow at 2 p.m., which I've got to do some research for in regards to the business, build out a plan, build out a strategy, which I'll update on tomorrow how that goes. The other one was a guy who runs a detailing business out in Perth. Now, what I've sort of offered him is a website rebuild and SEO and some advertising as well. He doesn't want to do Facebook because of the high volume, the low quality, and the profitability is there, but he's not willing to speak to heaps of people in order to get a couple and then make the return. He's just not willing to do that. So it's going down the more Google route. To start, it's a website rebuild because his website is shite currently. And then the SEO to rank organically through Google. He said he's only getting 1 to 2 jobs a month at the moment through Google, which is frankly, well, I say it's really good and exciting because there's so much potential to then improve upon it, which is what I said to him. But it's frankly not much at all. Like if you're only getting 1 to 2 from your website organically as a local business, then it's pretty disappointing. You should be getting so much more from that. So told him the pricing. He said this is for a website rebuild and SEO. And he said that I came in at above a couple of the other businesses that he'd reached out to, a couple of other agencies. And I said, look, I completely get it. Let me send through the website and let me send through how it looks and also the case study websites. You'll understand why we're priced like that. Like the websites are insane. They look really good and perform that well. Like increasing conversion rates, increase in leads, increase in business growth. You need a website that looks good. You need one that converts well, and you need one that actually facilitates the goal that you're trying to hit in regards to your business. So that was that. It'll be interesting. I've got another conversation on Friday. So I sent that through this afternoon. Another conversation on Friday. Another potential website rebuild for another guy. This is for a cheaper website, just a simple 1 page, just to collect leads. Something literally like a brochure on the internet that he can get, convey the information that he wants to, and then get a few leads. So that's in regards to a few things today. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this was who I'm going to go after as a business, and I need to do a bit of thinking. This always happens. It always happens for me. Every few weeks, every few months, I speak to someone, I go, look, I'm done serving these cheap customers because the demands are massive or they just can't afford what I'm doing. Now, after that, I'll take you through the backstory, tell you the story. I signed a client last week and it was simply just a 500, it was a trial amount. So it would have been 1,000 ad spend, 1,000 a month. However, he couldn't afford that. He didn't want to do that. It wasn't really to risk that much. And I said, look, I'm happy to test out trial ad spend. Let's drop it to 500 for the setup fee, 500 trial ad spend. See how it goes, get some proof of concept, get some leads, hopefully get some clients, and then we can scale it that way. I paid 50% up front because I wanted to make it as easy as possible for him. Paid $250 up front, and then he was going to pay $250 as we launched the campaign. I speak to him this morning, and he goes, because he sent me a message that he was going to pay me once he received payment from a client whose work has been delayed, if that even makes sense. I was confused. So he said that, and I'm like, what did you mean by that? When do you think that'll be? And he said, oh, by next week. And I said, oh, that wasn't really what we agreed upon. Are you not able to do that now? And he said, no, I'm too broke. And it just sort of hit me. I'm like, why do I keep working with these businesses who can't afford the services? Like, it's, I just keep coming back to this. Like, I need to work with businesses who can afford it, can afford to scale, are already doing really well by themselves. They've got good product, preferably a team behind them, and a really like a good service, good product that they offer, and have some money to invest in that to grow and are willing to. Not these small businesses which can't afford to, or only will, like genuinely can't afford to do it. In terms of an advertising perspective, those are the people that I need to look to work with. Now, there's two ways you can go in terms of in the agency game. You can go really expensive, high ticket, work with few clients, make heaps from only a few clients that you're working with. Or you go, you undercut and you go really low, mass market, and try and get as many clients as possible. Now, see, the thing is, I want to do both of them. I want to have a service that's so easy to fulfill, focus on ROI, has a guarantee in it, just a really like easy yes, less than $500 a month, and where the ROI is there for the businesses. And then a high ticket for the businesses that can really benefit from it, the ones that have the facility to actually get really good results with it. So I've got some thinking to do tonight and tomorrow between how I want to approach doing that, how I want to attract clients for that. Yeah, there's just a few things I want to think about that. Every few weeks, every few months, I have these interactions or these experiences or things that occur where I go, why am I still working with these businesses trying to fulfill on a service? Well, no, it's more expectation setting. If they're in for a lower price service, I've got to be like, this is what you're getting. You're not getting any more than this. Here's how you're going to get the value. The ROI is there. Here is what it's going to look like. Here's what we need to do to get that result, to get that ROI, to grow the business or whatever result they're trying to get. And set that expectation from the beginning, because if you're an agency owner, what you will find is when you work with particular clients, especially on the cheap rents, they're very demanding. They think that they've paid you even just a small amount of money, that they now own your life, that you've got to do exactly what they say, even if it's not really aligned within the service. For example, over a year ago, I built a website. I was starting with some websites, and I built a website for a guy for $150. $150. I know, it's ridiculous. I'd never do it now. Way too cheap. But I was starting out. I was trying my luck with website stuff. Built it myself. Now I've got a couple of people behind me who help me build websites, and they look absolutely incredible. This one didn't look absolutely incredible. And then he comes to me last week and goes, Jack, I want the messaging changed on the website. I want it to convey a different feeling. And I said to him, look, a few things have changed within the business. What you're asking would require a full website rebuild. And like I said at the beginning, a few things have changed within the business. I'm not able, I said whatever I did about the website rebuild. And he said, that's free, right? And I said, no, it's not free. Because it's a full website rebuild, it's starting basically from scratch again. I've got basic information, but he wants a lot of that information changed. And it's those cheap customers, they expect so much for so little, but that's not how business works. That's not how life works. And that's what happens when you deal with, I'll say broke businesses or broke people, is they expect a lot for not much at all. The expectations are completely off, and it's because the reason why they don't have much money is because of their mental. It's because of their mindset. It's because of their way they think. And because they think that way, guess what? They're in the position they're in, which is why so many of them will never break out of that, because they think with such a limited mindset, they think that they can get anything they want for free. They don't have to pay any decent amount of money to get any decent result. They think that they can pay $100 and receive a $1,500 website, and that they are entitled to that. Doesn't work that way, especially in capitalistic society, when there are people who have incredible services they offer And here we have these cheap people who are going, that service for $1,500. If you do it for me for $200, you've got my business. And the person offering for $1,500, which has been me sometimes, it's like, no, that's not how that works. I'm sorry, I can't do that. He's like, no, but I'll do this, that, and the other. Come on, do me a favor. It's just like, no, that's not how my business works. That's not what I do. Boundaries is so important in business. There have been a few instances where clients have called me or done a few things and I've had to set boundaries. I'm like, look, I'm not here on standby just to answer the phone whenever you call. I will always get back to you within a reasonable period of time, and I'll always, within reason, do what you need me to do in regards to the parameters of the service that I'm providing. But anything outside of that, that's like, I will, if I see I can help them, I will help them because I'm a good human being and I want to give value to the people I work with. I'm not in the business of just collecting their money, bang, doing the absolute bare minimum to receive the money, then they're unhappy and then they stop straight away. I'm not in the business of doing that. I don't want to do that. I'm 18, trying to make a name for myself, trying to gain experience, skills, and make money long term, not just in the short term. So, look, that's my little tangent along that. I've got a lot of thinking that I need to do, a lot of things that I want to do, and a lot of conversations that I need to have tonight or by bed with my good friend ChatGPT. So I will no doubt update you tomorrow how that went, what I plan to do, also how that sales call goes, as well as I'll record a little bit before the sales call as to my plan going into it and what I plan to offer and the strategy that I'm going to take. I'm going to be like, this is the pricing, this is what it looks like, this is what we're trying to do, this is what we can look to get in return. But today is day 43, I think, on the road to $1 million at 18. My name is Jack. I'm talking about the day-to-day on the road to $1 million, currently building my agency and trying to make really cool people, really cool entrepreneurs, building businesses, chasing success, and trying to live incredible lives. And I'll see you tomorrow.